All right, good morning, everybody. I'll be give me 1 second because my dog is whining. Good morning, everybody. Okay, just give me 1 sec. Just need to make sure that everyone can hear me good, or okay. I do have a canker sore on my tongue, so I might talk a little weird. So a little disclaimer, but I'll power through. Don Vo is gone. Oh my gosh, that's actually crazy. Is he just MIA or what? What happened? I just heard some drama and stuff, and then he kind of just disappeared. So I hope everything is okay on that end. I don't really keep up with the drama and stuff though. Yeah, I'll read your chat in a bit, Vegito. Okay, so let me just take a look at price really quick. I do kind of want to just start with a clean slate. Even though I am looking for higher prices, I do want to start with a clean slate because prices low-key kind of confusing me right now. How we're consistently failing to hit this high. And my question is, why are we consistently failing to hit this high when we have quadruple equal highs resting right there? And so right now, I think we might be switching bearish because we have SMT on the highs right now. So potentially look for some lower prices. I also apologize for the audio because I'm not at my home setup, but I'll make do with this. I'll be home tomorrow. Which contract should I use this month, September or October? You should be using the one with the most open interest. So you go to barcharts.com, you click on futures, and then you go to indices, and then you can click on whatever contract you're trying to look for. So in this case, if you're trading index futures, for me, I'm clicking on ES and QYM, and I look at the contracts individually and see which one has more open interest, and I'll trade that one. When should I change my? Yeah, so it's open interest. Hey, then I traded Forex with daily internal range liquidity to external range liquidity, hourly alignment, hourly internal to external, 5-minute entries. This works, but the thing is I don't get much trade. What should I do? So if you're trading that sounds a lot like MXM Trader's bread and butter. And what you'll see him do a lot is he looks at many different pairs. So he'll look at exotics, he'll look at majors, he'll look at, just a bunch of different, he'll even look at index futures and all that. So he looks at I'd say maybe 20 markets at the same time. He's keeping an eye on them. So then because that model is really high probability, it will give you less trades. And I think that's why he probably just looks for, that's why he looks for many different markets for that to form. If you want, you can fractalize it. If you could use, for example, 4-hour internal to external, and then 50-minute internal to external, and 1-minute entries. That'll typically give you more entries. Six is my final payout date. Nice, good stuff. Yeah, so right now I think I really want to see these highs get taken out, and I don't know if I'm being I don't know if I have cognitive bias or not, but if I were to just do my analysis objectively, just removing all drawings, starting from a clean slate, I'm having trouble seeing otherwise. And I'd like to see maybe an SMT with previous day low, if we could get that. We have this SMT right here, but now we've also formed a new SMT on the highs, which is why we could potentially be bearish now. And because it's not extremely obvious to me, I think I might just sit on my hand until something is really obvious. All right, so we had a 4-hour SMT on the high here. We had a 4-hour SMT on the low here. Right, and so potentially we could be looking for some downside, especially because YM has already taken July's high that I was expecting. The only thing that kind of throws me off is because we had SMT between Q3 and Q4 of August. I'm not too keen. I have trust issues with this SMT as of right now, because it's right next to each other, right? So I always pay attention to the one that creates, Q3, Q4 will most likely cause a reversal in price. And then on top of that, the next quarters that are attached together, I like to let it breathe for a bit, expand, right? Because if our SMT is manipulation, we need to see distribution first. Excuse me, sir. I also have allergies because I'm dog sitting for my mom, so I apologize, guys. The quality of the stream will not be all the way up there. And I've canceled my previous subscription and subs another, but that gave me 7 days trial again. Honestly, it's fine, bro. Just use the free trial again. I don't really care that much. There are some people that cancel and then they just join on a new account and then they do trial again, and I just let them do it because it's honestly, if there's a will, there's a way, you know what I'm saying? So go for it if you want to do that. Yeah, so as of right now, I honestly, genuinely, I have no direction. I'm gonna be honest. I'm a little confused on price because we're just consolidating right now, right? If we're looking at the higher time frame, it really does just look like we're gonna be bullish here because this is We are within that daily fair value gap. That is our unicorn model technically on a daily time frame, and we had a hourly SMT within it all the way back here. I feel like I need to sneeze. I'll be right back. I didn't blow my nose. Man, I just be dying. Alright, so you guys know the drill. Whip out the journals and start journaling. Got our equities open right now. That's a massive expansion we just had. That's crazy. That's during London, right? London expansion, New York consolidation retracement, possibly. Look for higher prices. So let's go back to my... If London low gets taken on NQ, I just expect lower prices. This is a massive London expansion. I didn't even see that until now. Okay, so once again, I'm going to start journaling before I even try to look for a trade. A very important thing to do, guys. And the reason why I started streaming with my camera on is so you guys can see exactly what I'm doing. I'm literally just journaling, even though it's equities open right now. What do you normally journal? So right now what I'm journaling is just my immediate emotions and my plan to approach the market today. How am I feeling in terms of like energy levels, stuff like that, right? And I need to make sure that I'm at my mental A game every time I approach the market. And so that's why this quick little journal, this physical journal I have here, I'll jot down any sort of notes I need to in the moment, and then later in the day I'll compile all my notes throughout the day, and then I'll just make a summary of my day in a proper journaling application, kind of like Notion or TradeZella. And recently I've been using TradeZella a lot. I think Notion is perfectly fine. It's free. It's perfectly fine. I think as a developing trader, it's actually better to use Notion because you're forced to do everything manually. It's just now because I have a little less time, I like to use TradeZella. It's recorded and I can always go back to review things a lot easier. And then, as always, I'll be reading my journal, like whatever I write down. I'll read it to you guys so you guys can get a feel for how I like to do my journal. Maybe you guys could copy my templates and stuff. Let's see, we have SMT with... Yeah, I'm just gonna let this play out because objectively in my analysis, this doesn't really... I don't have anything to tell me what to do as of right now. We're just kind of stuck in a range right now on NQ. I expect these highs to be run out for a market maker buy. We're coming all the way down here again to take out this SMT low created on Friday. And so now I'm just gonna, assume that we're gonna continue some bearishness based off this price action because of this 4-hour SMT. But I would like some lower time from SMTs to confirm that 4-hour SMT before I really make the call. Body closure. It's a hidden SMT on the weekly. Or sorry, on the 4-hour. Hidden SMT. Okay, so I pretty much wrote down the timestamp. So I write the date, the title of my journal, the timestamp, so 9:31 a.m. Currently live on YouTube with camera on. Camera doesn't really bother me, but showing my position does. Will be aware of that if I do show my position. A little confused on today's bias, so I will be patiently watching the markets with no expectations. London expansion means we could chop or retrace, so I'm open to the possibility. Overall, feeling great and energized, no expectations as always, and will take my bread and butter models if they are presented. So let me just do a quick analysis in case I missed anything. But as of right now, I don't think I missed anything. I did a quick scan this morning, and honestly, I don't see much. We're just kind of going for these relative equal lows here. But once again, if we look at the highs, we have quintuple equal highs now. So we'll have to see, or at least I'll have to see, because in my experience, it's just whenever you have highs that clean, it's just a clear drawn liquidity. So we'll see how it plays out. Preferably, I want to see a daily SMT on the lows, and then I think that will be like the clear buy for me personally, if that occurs. So if we get an hourly SMT with yesterday's low, I think that'll be pretty good. So let me just mark that out. Where is yesterday's low? Never mind, I don't think that's possible. We've already taken all of them out. That is quite literally impossible to take out yesterday's low now. Yep. Alright, let's take a look at Forex while we're at it. Forex still extremely bearish as of right now. I would like to see EU continue to plummet. I think that this looks like a really nice market maker sell overall, so I think it's good. DXY, as expected, inside of this inversion weekly fair value gap. We want to see how we react from this, but I think potentially we're probably going to soup this internal low, this fair value gap, and then continue higher is what I would like to see on DXY. And so if we're looking at this on a grand scheme, then that would make index figures bearish. However, I just wanted to see these highs run out, which I don't know if we're gonna get that. I guess we'll have to see. Bonds, we got that SMT on the lows on the weekly chart, so it's continued bullishness. We hit this draw on liquidity, I believe. Yeah, we did. Daily chart. I would like to see bonds continue a little higher and maybe purge out that high a little clearer if we get another SMT on the lows, which we do have right here. We look for some buy side liquidity into this high, potentially. And so if that's the case, then that would present bullish, right, for the other assets. Nvidia, Meta, and Microsoft still playing out as expected. We have this SMT on the highs. We're looking for lower prices, and ever since last week it's been going lower. So far so good on Nvidia. Bitcoin, Ethereum, I don't know what this is doing. I'll be honest, I've been waiting for 73K to be purged for quite a while now, but it seems that every movement is just being suppressed. So when we go higher, we're just being suppressed lower. When we go lower, we're being suppressed higher. So I'm just going to let it do its thing and accept that we're just trading within this massive range right now. We need to see at least one side of the accumulation purged, in my opinion. So always be patient because accumulation will breed expansion. Previous day low, previous day low, yeah, all of them took out previous day low. So from that specific idea on with the previous day low SMT, not too keen on that right now. Let's take a look at metals. I don't trade metals much, but we'll see what's going on here. That was my lecture drawing. You see, working hard. Okay, so looking at gold, I think it looks like it's due for retracement with that push higher. Have an SMT on the highs as well, but let's take a look on the weekly chart, see what kind of SMT we got here. Oh yeah, this looks really bearish to me just because of this SMT. This is a yearly cycle SMT right here. And then you just want to confirm that on a lower time frame, like the 4-hour or the daily. The daily is going to be a little trickier. I would recommend you guys use previous month high, previous month low, but it does, we did purge that, so you have stacked SMT on the highs. I think gold's probably going to head lower. So, looks pretty good, I think. To be honest, gold looks like it can go lower for these lows. These relative equal lows right here. Looks like the end objective of this run lower if we end up getting that. And Q continue to do its thing. Any questions in the chat? I'm gonna go over chat in a second here, but if you guys have any questions, feel free to type them now. All right, let's take a look. Hi Ethan, what to do when conflicting SMT? So when you have conflicting SMT, it depends. If you have a lower time frame SMT conflicting a higher time frame SMT, then I usually just look for consolidation or retracement. If you have a SMT of the same magnitude, so let's say you have opposing SMT of the same time frame as your higher time frame SMT or higher than that, then I just look for a reversal in price. You from Canada? Yes, I am. Isn't monthly and weekly still bullish? So with that, we are not then focused on bullish SMTs rather than internal bearish SMTs that's against higher time frame order flow. What do you think? I think that right now that we are overall bullish, but I need to see those SMTs forming to support my idea. I don't want to just start blindly longing, especially when we're in a premium and we could definitely, trade lower. Because right now, nothing like price is failing to prove to me that we're extremely bullish. Every time we get a push higher, as of right now, it's being high resistance liquidity. Every time we get a push lower, it's being high resistance liquidity. I think it's in price discovery, in my opinion. But my end goal is I would like to see this weekly fair value gap revisited, or this daily fair value gap. It's also overlapping a weekly fair value gap. I would like to see that purged. However, right now we have SMT on the highs, right? And so we could potentially look for some downside, which would still hold up to our bullish bias. So if we trade into this balanced price range, for example, we would still be bullish even if we did that. That's why right now we need to pay attention to the lower time frame. What is it telling us that it wants to do? If it's going to be in alignment of the higher time frame order flow. And if you draw out your range, right, this is our swing point to swing point. And then you can start to anticipate this balanced price range because it's in a discount. Right? So that's kind of like my thought process as of right now. And that's why I'm saying my bias is pretty 50-50 as of right now until the lower time frame becomes extremely clear to me. Because a higher time frame, I already know what I'm looking for. I'm looking for either this fair value gap or this balanced price range, right? I know that. But on the lower time frame, I need some clear price action, some cleaner price action before I can look for any sort of price action. If we end up leaving those quintuple equal highs at the on NASDAQ highs, then I would look for lower prices, trade into this balanced price range, and this trade higher into this fair value gap up here. It's going to be explosive if that happens, because we're now creating so much low resistance liquidity resting above. So that's my thought process behind that. By the way, any views on my setups from the point of view that I'm trading from 5 to 6 months? Anything I can improve? I think you're doing amazing right now, Tony. I think you keep doing you. The only thing I would say is maybe limit yourself to a specific amount of trades per day. However, I think you're killing it, so I don't want to give you false feedback until I actually see something wrong with it. And so I'll keep an eye on your journals for sure. Too long EU. I'm looking for sells on EU personally, but I think we could possibly get a retracement. What do you normally journal? I think I answered that earlier. Did I answer that? I have a video on that as well. Sell side taken, no buy side liquidity next. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna go for buy side liquidity today, especially the way we're trading. So a rule of thumb for me is I'm very heavily into SMT. So if there's no SMT, expect continuation. If there is SMT, expect reversal. Right? What's the white box you have down below on NQ? Which white box? White box, white box. Is it the indicator that you were looking at? This one right here? Daily coordinate theory 2 degrees. Actually, I should apply this indicator too, because I changed the color just to make it a little easier for myself. But I do like having a more black and white vibe to my chart, and the reason is it, it makes me feel more dull. It sounds a little upsetting, but it is what it is. It makes me feel more dull. It helps me regulate emotions a little better. It's like a psychology trick, I think. This will be so transparent. Yeah, of course, man. 4 hour inversion for Valley Gap. Yeah, that's like a good point of interest you could use for intraday. 4 hour inversion. Are you guys talking about this one, or we'll see? Today's news expectation. Honestly, I got nothing, bro. The way price is playing right now, I would just say like I think at this point it's pretty obvious we're gonna go for these lows. So news expectation, lower prices. But there's really no way for me to enter based on my model right now. If I were to enter, it has to be on an SMT. And that's pretty much my rule of thumb. And the reason why I do that is because SMT is the start and end of every trend. Then I might as well just catch the start and end of every trend, or try to at least. Nasdaq took out previous day low. Yeah, I think all three of them took out previous day low. Yeah, all three of them. Unless you refer back to Fridays because yesterday was a bank holiday. But with this expansion of a candle, I just look for continued downside, to be honest. Do you think we'll come up to midnight open since we're in a daily fair value gap? At this point, once again, we're just within this range. Here, I'll draw out the range. I think we are within this range right now, so I would just, once again, personally, I'm just sitting on my hands because we're just in this range. If we soup these lows, maybe look for a retracement. I don't know if we'll displace all the way back up again, but look for a retracement of some sort. A good idea to think that we're going to reach previous week low because of a new bullish SMT. Yeah, that's valid. I just want to see a lower time from SMT to give us that confirmation before I actually look for a position here. Then which news data candles do you consider for SMT? All of them. But mainly, I like to use CPI, NFP, and FOMC. Those are like the big three because those are very large volatility injections. Majority of the time when you have SMT with those three candles mainly, you'll see good setups form. Is 5-minute or 15-minute break block is highest probability? I ask you this because I lose most of the time in the 5-minute break block. So just make sure that you're using a context of the higher time frame, right? It all comes down to context. Make sure even your 15-minute breaker block, you need to use it in context of the 4-hour. The 5-minute, you need to use it in context of the 1-hour. And I personally like to use breaker blocks with fair value gaps because that creates the unicorn model. So that's really the only time I like to use breaker blocks is the unicorn model. Another great way to use breaker blocks is confirming that you have a market structure shift once it's activated. However, I usually just use true market structure shift myself. How to backtest for best results? I mean, recording or journaling like that. So I would just go through price. So if you're newer and you're still discovering your model, you're still studying concepts and stuff, just go in your chart, trading view, just go back in time and just annotate all the things you're, making observations on. And then secondly, just watch price live. Watching price live will teach you many, many things that no mentor could ever, because that's experience, right? Just gaining experience. I can't teach you guys experience. I can teach you guys what to look for, but only experience will really help you solidify that. What's wrong with your indicator? Some have 3 cycles, others have 4. Are these some settings you've made? No, I haven't. It's just because yesterday was a bank holiday, right? So there technically is 4 quarters. It's just very small. Right here, right? Because yesterday was a short day, short trading day. Does your model require London SMT? I prefer to see London higher, London low purged, but it's not required. So yeah, that's the target met right there on the downside. I think I'm just gonna keep waiting here and see how we react to that. That would be this right here. So if we get an SMT with that, we could potentially be looking for, some higher prices, in my opinion. And I think once again, this is just way too clean, in my opinion. It cannot stay here. It cannot stay here. Just think of all the people making money from this trend line specifically, and that's how I like to, visualize. Like, people that are shorting this trend line are just banking right now, and it doesn't make sense. Yeah, so let's just be patient here. We got news in 3 minutes here, and I'm sure it'll give us something. News in 10 minutes. Any advice for me, Ethan? Yeah, I answered your question earlier. I was just saying that I think right now the only thing I would say is like watching your over trading potentially, but other than that, your setups are very solid. I think that if it's working for you, then go for it. I'm not gonna give you feedback that I think will, take you away from profitability. I'll just keep a close eye on your journals, and as you post them, I'll keep giving you feedback if I think it's appropriate. Right? Because not one thing fits all. So normally I like to recommend maximum 2 trades per day, but sometimes I see people killing it with like 15 trades per day, and they're just really good at risk managing, and I'm not going to stop them from doing that if they're making bank. Yeah, Zambada, that sounds very solid, to be honest. So one thing that I need you guys to keep in mind is as well is your true opens, right? So I have this, noted down at the back of my head. I know that we're below true open right now. I know we're below true day open right now. I'm aware that we are. It's just you have to think of the time span it takes to play out as well. So if we're using true week open, we need a weekly cycle SMT. Then I'm waiting for that, and I know that potentially doesn't have to happen today. True day open, price has already left. There's no point for me even chasing price at this point, right? So that's why it's like I'm just using these filters that I normally have in my plan, and it's just a process of elimination. I saw that London, we had an expansion. We failed to create my model here, right? We're already below true day open. then there's no opportunity for me to enter. So I'm completely fine with missing this trade because I know that later in the week we're probably going to have an even better setup. It's all about letting your edge play out, not forcing yourself to do stupid things in between your setups. Yeah, no worry, Tony. You're good. One hour on YM for bullish PE raise. There's just no. I don't see any reason to be looking for bullish PD raise, but I can try to look for some for you. Yeah, honestly, I'm not even gonna go look for that because I genuinely do not believe this is gonna be bullish. But yeah, this rejection block is one if you want to use that PD ray. Right, here's your rejection block. You got another rejection block right here, but once again, it looks like we're on the sell side of the curve, so you want to just look for sell side liquidity rather than bullish PD raise. You also want to pay attention to immediate order flow, right? So if we're on the sell side of the curve, so let's just say we're on the sell side of the curve, then we're only paying attention to PD arrays that are bearish, that are being created right now, right? So let's say this one, for example, this fair value gap or this fair value gap. It's all about proximity. That's how you tape read in the moment, or at least that's how I do it, is I watch every PD array that forms in the moment, and I'll tape read every single one, but it has to be within the curve. So if we're on the sell side of the curve, then I need to look for bearish PD rays within the sell side of the curve, and we need to be inverting bullish PD rays that were prior in the bullish side, the buy side of the curve, right? So that's how I like to do. For those curious, I'm not looking at other charts and stuff. When I look away at my, like, the only thing that I'm looking at for charts wise is the one you're looking at. When I look at other monitors, it's because I'm looking at chat or Discord. I just want to clarify. I'm not hiding anything from you guys. And so I don't want that to induce. I know some people think like that because they'll be like, oh, he's clearly looking at something else right now. And they'll think like that and they'll like end up FOMOing in because of that. Any questions though? Like, I think this is a perfect opportunity since there's not much for me to really comment on price. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask them. I'll just answer. Do you look at 1 hour as a higher time frame or just 4 hour and above? Sometimes I look at my hourly as my higher time frame, but I'm really looking at a daily pool of liquidity, right? Every time I use the hourly chart, I'm using previous day high, previous day low. Every time I use the 4 hour chart, I'm using previous week high, previous week low. You know? True market structure shift is a market structure shift that occurs with SMT pretty much. And inverts a gap. Oh, that's so interesting. Apparently on YouTube, it's giving people stream will start. Okay, let me find the link again. I don't know why that's happening. Okay, let's try this. Oh, did I go wrong because I think I went wrong when I went live, but I didn't start the live by using the scheduled one. I started it just like manually, and I think that's what screwed up. So I apologize everyone that joined the live late because of that. But up to this point, we haven't really had much to do, and I just realized I was a little dumb because we had this SMT yesterday. We are most definitely bearish now that I see this, and I can't believe I missed this. So if that's the case, now that I actually see it, I can't believe I missed that. But either way, there's no model for me to enter. If that's the case, I think we're probably going to go for that daily balance price range that we're talking about. most definitely like to see price reach lower, SMT on the lows, reach higher, something like that maybe. That would be ideal. That'd be nice. Now it suddenly makes sense. Damn, that would have been a nice. It's all good. It's fine. Would have been a nice personal account trade right here. Okay, so are you seeing the 1 minute breaker, bearish breaker at 942 as I am? Went short there, rejected off it, created a week. Can you confirm? Let me take a look right now. 1 minute bearish breaker. 942. Yeah, looks valid to me. Just make sure you have SMT though, is what I would say. You do have SMT, nice. SMT, you have your breaker, and then you have a fair value gap overlapping with that. That's your unicorn model, short, stop loss above the order block, right? And then look for lower prices, targeting 2R, or, you know, if you're drawing liquidity on the higher time frame is good, then just keep holding it. Really good stuff, Zenbot. Honestly, I've seen really good stuff from you, Zenbot. So, honestly, kudos to you, man. Nathan, what are the daily and weekly routine and process for a successful trader and made you consistent in top 5 things we must do day in, day out? Thanks. Okay, so I have a habit tracker that I created for myself. It is... Okay. I just read out because I have a set routine in place. And this is the routine I followed every single day, like to the T, every single day for at least 6, I think it was like 6 to 8 months, something like that. I followed it to a T, and that really accelerated my growth because I would have a good balance of everything. So on Sundays, I would wake up at 6 a.m. I would do my morning routine, eat breakfast, whatever. And then I just have mostly free time on Sunday, and then I go to Sunday worship because I am Christian, so I go to church, and I go to lunch, and then the rest of the day is once again free for family, friends, and then night routine. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Fridays are all the same. So I'll wake up at 6 a.m., morning routine and breakfast. I actually stopped eating breakfast, so now I just do morning routine. Sometimes I don't even wake up at 6 a.m. anymore, which I most definitely should resume. It's just sometimes I do doing that late night gaming, you know? So, and then I'll hit the devotion, and then I'll hit reading for like 30 minutes to an hour. Devotion will usually take me like an hour. And then I'll do my pre-market research like half an hour before market open or the first volatile injection. I'll do my journal for pre-market research, and then I'll actually have my trading session. After the trading session, I have lunch. After lunch, I like to study. So studying like concepts and stuff back then when I was still learning them, back testing, forward testing, whatever I need to do. And then after that studying, I would go to the gym for an hour or so. That would be around 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon that I'd go to the gym for an hour. And then after that, I do, when I get home, when the market is closed at 5, then I do after-market analysis, and I compare my pre-market research to how the market played out, my observations made, improvements, stuff like that. That's how I'll do it. And then I'll have dinner after that at 6 o'clock. And then after that, I study, relax, or do my night routine for the rest of the night. So that would be around like 7 o'clock. I just have the rest of the night to myself for whatever I want to do. Wednesdays, exactly the same thing. I just don't go to gym on Wednesdays because, you know, it's my rest day. And then Saturdays are wake up at 6 a.m., morning routine, breakfast. I stopped eating breakfast, so I don't really do that. And then I do devotion. I'll do my weekly recap and planning for the next week. So weekly recap for the week that just played out, and then planning for the next week coming. And then I just have free time until lunchtime, and then after lunch I'll study, and I'll have free time after that again, just usually taking the weekends to myself. But one major thing that's helped me in my journey is just, enjoying the process itself. And I know a lot of successful traders, they're successful because they enjoy the process themselves, like itself, right? They're not outcome focused, they're more focused on process, and they just love the game of trading. That's why they study it. Just like Jason, that's why I onboarded Jason, because I know this guy's got drive. He's always grinding even though he doesn't need to. Like, this guy's hella profitable, but he doesn't need to keep grinding, but he does. And that's what makes us such a good team, in my opinion, is because we're constantly striving for higher and more, precision in the markets and stuff like that, and trying to provide the best educational service that we can for those that resonate with our teaching styles. So yeah, that's pretty much my routine. I do like day in the life vlog. I think the top five, like, I wouldn't say there's top five things you have to do day in, day out. I would say just do something that you don't want to necessarily do. I think it's just important to have routine, because that forces you to do things that you don't want to do. Even, like, it's going to be beneficial for you. Obviously, put beneficial things for yourself in your routine, but you're going to find yourself not wanting to do some of that routine, but you're going to force yourself anyways, and that'll build up your mental fortitude, and that translates directly into the charts. Because just like FOMOing in, I want to place a trade, but it's not my plan, so I'm not going to do it. I get confused on what to do when we're trading under a big imbalance. I always want to believe price is going to come fill the imbalance, but sometimes price completely ignores it. What do you suggest? So for me personally, I like to just wait and sit out. If it's not dumb clear to me, I'm just out. But once again, I like to catch the SMTs that occur, because the SMTs at the start and end of every trend, so I might as well just enter at the SMT, right? So that's my model personally. Of course, there's continuation models, like let's say the unicorn model. The unicorn model is a continuation model because that's after the SMT occurs already. It creates a true market structure shift, creates a unicorn model, and you trade that, right? That's a continuation. So I would just say have a plan in place that allows you to chase price effectively, and of course practice risk management. But for me personally, my plan does not allow me to chase price at all. Maybe one day I will, but as of right now, I really enjoy my win rate and my, I really enjoy the edge I have right now, so I don't feel like mixing it up. Do SMTs have to be exact time when they are happening for you? No, they don't have to be exact time. Trying to get my third 50K. You got it, bro. I think you're very good at analysis. And that's typically a lot of traders. It comes down to really good analysis, but do you have the discipline? Do you have the patience? Do you have the mindset of a successful trader, right? Because that's what's gonna make you a successful trader. As a former gamer, you told good gamer. Okay, I don't know if that's a compliment or not, but I'll take it. I try not to focus too much on SMT when drawing liquidity is clear, as these lows are right now. Yeah, so I think a great way to use SMT is when you have a clear down liquidity. Let's say we're all the way down here, just drop down to a lower time frame and use the lower time frame SMT to project price in confluence of your idea. But if it's working for you and you're not using that, then just stick to what you're using. Yeah, of course, Jason. We in this together. The whole team's grinding. We got a neuroscientist on the team. We got a marketing guy on the team. We got a military drill sergeant on the team. Crazy. Building an empire. Can you share your habit tracker sample? Yes, but I'll have to make a new template for that. And then I'll share it. I do use Notion for that. Echo. Jason is a really nice guy. Yes, sir. He just gives it to you bluntly, you know. He gives it to you straight up. He doesn't sugarcoat anything, and sometimes we just need a guy like that. Can you explain the concept of day that you are using? What do you mean, Mukan? You follow the theory of Monday making the low or high of the week. Then Tuesday or Wednesday are generally continuations, and Thursday, Friday, TJF. Yeah, majority of the time it does play out like that. Then that just comes back to your weekly profiles, right? Now, I don't use weekly profiles like very consistently. I just like to use it to explain price action in hindsight because it's an easy way to explain it. I think that anything in price can happen, and wherever SMT occurs, that's most likely gonna form the higher low of the week, higher low of the month, higher low of the day. You know, that's just how I look at it. I don't really follow the weekly profiles or the monthly profiles, the daily profiles. I don't really follow it too closely, but I do see it does line up. Over 60K with 5%ers now. Good stuff, Tony. Just make sure that you have a scaling plan, Tony, because you are getting funded with a lot of different firms right now. The 1 hour SMT which you marked is with the previous day high. So it's Monday's high with Friday's high. So previous day high, SMT. I use opening prices midnight and 7:30 majority of the time, but I also use Monday at 6 p.m. EST for the true week open. How you analyze the market today? So initially I wanted to see these highs run out, but I spotted this 4 hour SMT, which is why we had that London expansion lower in my from my observation. I actually unfortunately missed this 1 hour SMT that formed yesterday during the holiday. And so because I missed that, I wasn't expecting such a large plummet today. So if we continue lower on the daily chart, I'm just expecting this daily balanced price range to be, revisited. And from there we could potentially see like maybe some higher prices because these quintuple equal highs on the 4 hour chart or the 1 hour chart look way too clean to be left here. I think that we're gonna go purge some sell side, induce people to enter their shorts, and then we'll probably come back up to drive these out into this weekly fair value gap, taking out the yearly cycle Q2 high. So it's gonna be, I believe, next month. Taking out the yearly Q2 high, right? And once we take that, we have SMT on the yearly cycle, and then I think we're gonna see some extreme bearishness moving forward, and that's my prediction. So. Gold moving nicely so far as expected. Wanted to see some lower prices. Let's see Bitcoin. Bitcoin doing its thing still. Forex doing nicely as well. Starting to expand a little lower, expand higher on DXY. Did we end up souping that lower? No, we did not. Okay, we'll see how that plays out then. There's no SMT, so. And the bonds doing well. Nvidia once again still doing well, just plummeting, right? So overall everything's going to plan, just no entry for me, unfortunately. And that's just how it is though. Sometimes you just miss those entries, right? Yeah, Tony. I think personally, I just stick with Top Step. I used to use Apex as well, but after like I blew my accounts with Apex, I was like, you know what? I don't really feel like putting myself through that trailing drawdown stress again, because it really ruined my psychology and always made me have extremely tight stop losses and extremely closely managed trades, which would make me exit trades extremely early for no reason. And obviously that comes down to over leveraging my position, but I find that if I'm trading, like let's say I need like a 6% profit target, I'm risking like 0.10%, you know? Like I don't really want to trade like that. So I rather just go with Top Step and be allowed to endure drawdown, you know? And it really aligns me with trading my personal account too, if it allows me to do that. Because my personal account, like sometimes I have to endure drawdown, and it'll just end up going my way, right? But sometimes you just be a little more patient, rather than Apex forcing you to be impatient, which I don't like. I think Top Step is better than Apex, but Apex did just give like a $1.9 million payout to someone, so to each their own. I think that Apex, once again, prop firms just come down to being tools for you to make money as a trader. It will not replicate real trading, in my opinion, because your personal account definitely induces a lot more emotion, induces a lot more, planning and stuff like that. That's why my personal account, I only swing trade it or intra-week trade it. I never intraday trade it because I need to, and that's also why I'm so focused on my psychology as of right now. That's why I have this written journal next to me. It's because I need to be very aware and alert of what is hindering my trading as of right now. Because if I'm going to be risking my real capital on this, then I need to be aware of everything I'm doing, everything I'm feeling. And that's the thing about how I used to trade. And I used to be more profitable, obviously, in my opinion, because it's like I would trade based off my intuition, but it would give me way more stress. So I don't think it was very healthy for me to execute that way. It wasn't very, it felt like I was getting lucky with every trade, if that makes sense, because I was using my intuition, even though it like played out and stuff. So it did feel like I was getting lucky at during some of those trades. So I've really toned it back. I'm like, okay, I really need to focus on my discipline here so that I can start scaling and doing it in a less emotional manner. Yes, 100% Zabata. Why are USD not going higher? I'm expecting lower prices because if you zoom out, it just looks like a market maker sell model. We have an SMT at the highs here. Right. Major objective has just been met, which is this red line. If not market maker sell, then at least expecting a retracement, which creates a market maker sell. If you zoom out, then obviously on the higher time frame scale, we are still bullish. But as of right now, because we did hit that major liquidity pool, which is last year's, that was December 23rd high, I believe, or 27th, something like that. I think it was Q4. I didn't make sure. It was something significant. I remember I marked it out. So I'll just say a significant liquidity pool got hit, and then now we're looking for at least retracement or consolidation, and that's why I'm bearish. Yeah. So I think that's pretty much my analysis. And SMT baby. I don't trust Apex asking people for video recordings to get approved for payouts because the videos have to be very detailed and explain everything, and Apex would try to steal people's strategies. So I would only mess with Apex as a backup plan. But yeah, but the thing is, like, you steal a strategy once again, because any strategy can work. It really just comes down to your psychology, right? Are you able to execute your strategy, right? But yeah, the video recording, I definitely understand. I think that's like, in my opinion, it feels like an invasion of privacy. But hey, if you want to get paid, man, gotta do what you gotta do. The market goes from external range to internal range liquidity, and Euro USD has taken external, came to internal range. Well, Yes, that is correct. But this is also weekly internal if you want to look at that. I am still overall like I would like to see higher prices on EU, but we've hit this major liquidity pool, right? Once again. Right. I just don't think that price is prepared to reverse yet because you need after expansion you need consolidation or retracement, right? Up the cycles. Consolidation, retracement, and then let price show you that it's, creating that accumulation for higher prices, or is it distributing for lower prices, right? So you have to be aware because yes, price goes from external to internal, internal to external, but you still have to be a critical thinker once price gets to that level, right? You can't just blindly long or sell. I'm gonna do it if Apex asks. Well, I don't have that issue because I only trade with Top Step now, so it's a whatever thing for me personally. If Top Step starts asking me to record myself, I guess I have to do it. But I don't think they will. Settings, background. Yeah, got you. I think it's DCD3C9. Oh yeah, DCD3C9. That's my background color. New video. Honestly, I feel like my YouTube has covered everything on my mod. Actually, I've added some pretty crazy stuff, but I like to keep that for some things I like to keep to myself, I'll be honest, just for transparency's sake, but I think that everything that I teach is like more than enough if you just study it. However, yeah, I'll definitely be coming out with more YouTube content. I'm just very focused on the private community as of right now because I'm trying to pump out as much content as possible for them. And once that's done, then I'll focus on, starting to provide free value again. Have you traded today? No, I've taken no trades today. I don't know why the internet here is so slow. It's like I think it was like the Bell fiber optic, but their internet, I swear, everyone that has Bell fiber optic has a really slow internet. I don't know, it's just me, but that's my experience with them. Like even my cousin has Bell fiber optic and it's just so slow. I miss my setup. I bought my new monitor. I set it up. I used it for like 2 days, and then I had to go to Buffalo to for my girlfriend. And then now I'm dog sitting for like a full week. So tomorrow I finally get to go home, but it's gonna be at nighttime. So realistically, Thursday is when I finally get to use my setup. Yeah, that's for sure. So 10:30, I think I probably would head up. I think like the move has already played out. To be honest, like this 4 hour SMT, 1 hour SMT, probably look for like an order block on the higher time frame is what London reacted to. Trade lower, potentially have like maybe a 5-minute SMT within that hourly fair value gap. Yeah, which you do right here. And so obviously hindsight's 2020, but I'm just giving you guys a quick recap of what I think price was doing. Is it made a 5-minute SMT right here, and then it started plummeting, right? And so if I saw the 1 hour SMT, which I unfortunately once again I missed that, then I would have looked for a short. But it is what it is. It's all good. And the reason I look for a 5-minute SMT from a 1 hour SMT, I need to clarify this, is because I'm using time frame alignment, right? I'm using a 1 hour PD array framing my 5-minute SMT. So I need to annotate this just so that it's clear for you guys. Right, hourly to 5-minute, and suddenly boom, right? 1 hour PD array, SMT into the PD array, lower prices. And so there's a schematic that I draw for you guys pretty much like every week. Every day, every week. Higher time frame key level. Lower time frame SMT. Boom. Here's your model, right? Extremely high probability. And so that's exactly what played out here. Right? Exact same thing. Rinse and repeat. So that probably clarifies price for you guys today, why price expanded so far. Once again, I do wish, obviously I wish I saw this in hindsight, but it is what it is. Do SMTs have to happen at the same time? No, it does not. How do you know when SMT is bullish or bearish? If it occurs on the highs, it's bearish. If it occurs on the lows, it's bullish. That's pretty much it. It's pretty simple. So, on that note, I will be heading out here. Type 1 if you're satisfied with the stream. Type 2 if you have any additional questions that you want me to wait for you to type out. And yeah, we'll go from there. Nice, good subs on better. So which SMT worked the best with 15-minute? No, you're fine. The SMT works best with 15 minutes. Your previous session high low. 1 hour is previous day high, previous day low, right? You want to think back to your time frame alignment. If you're using a daily level liquidity pool, previous day high, previous day low, you're using the hourly chart, right? Etc. etc. So on that note, I will be heading out here, and thank you guys for attending the live as always. I'll see those in the Discord. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Will I see you tomorrow morning? Is there news tomorrow? I think there is. Let me just double check. I believe there is. I will see you guys tomorrow at 9:15, and then Thursday at 8 a.m. Friday, I'll see you guys at 8:15, and then there's a PA review at 12 p.m. Next week for the free members. I'll see you guys next week, same time on YouTube. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and